So what do you want out of life? Such a simple but yet so complex question, and even harder to answer. We live in a world with a lot of pressure on us to have it all figured out. Even from a young age, we get asked a lot what we want to do with our lives. What jobs we want to have, what career we want to build, what life we want to live, which partner we are looking for, what house we want to live in, what direction we are planning to go, and how we are planning it to unfold. But the truth is, probably no one of us really knows the answer. We are trying to figure out an answer that makes the most sense, and maybe an answer that is pleasing the person that is asking the question the most. So in fact, it's actually not a real answer from your authentic self. Even though this question isn't easy to answer, it's still worth trying to figure out what this question really means to you. If you are not deciding where your life are going, then there will be someone else that is deciding for you. Hi freedom seekers, and welcome back to my channel. I myself is in the process of figuring this out, but I've decided to dedicate time to really ask this question to myself in a genuine way, so I could shape the life in the way that I would love to live my life. A life where I'm actually living in alignment with my core values. In today's video, I will share tips with you that I've come across trying to figuring this out myself, and also share with you what I've changed in order for me to start creating my dream life. Step number 1 is to get clear on what you want and also what you don't want. It's hard for us maybe to distinguish what we truly want and what society is telling us that we want, or maybe our parents are telling us that we want. So what we want to do here is to really start to focus inwards and focus on ourselves, seeing what we truly want out of our lives. By becoming clear on what we truly want, that is also when we can make adjustments so our life is aligning more towards that. And when we are clear on what we don't want, we can also make adjustments so we decrease the amount of those kind of stuff, people, places, situations that we get involved in. So what I like to do to figure this out is that I like to make 2 sections. One is like the things that I love or the things that I want out of my life, and one piece or the other side is what I don't like and what I don't want out of my life. In the want section, I write down everything that I love to do, everything that I would like to do more of, everything that makes me tick, that gives me energy, that I feel motivated doing, everything that I envision myself wanting to do a couple of years ahead, maybe 3 years ahead or 5 years ahead. I list everything down that I want my life to include. On the other side, I list all the things that I feel like it's taking my energy, that is draining me, that is not something that I really want to do the long term, or that I want to do in 3 to 5 years. When I have these 2 sections, I know what I want to focus on and also what I want to maybe spend less time, money and energy on. Step number 2 is to figure out what I spend my time, money and energy on, because this will help me reveal what my core values are. So by determining what you spend your time, money and energy on, you can start to realize what your true core values are. Because what we value out of life, we're also going to spend more time, money and energy on. So start to look around you. What things do you have? What possessions do you have? What do you like spending money on? What do you spend your free time doing? What kind of things brings you energy, and what kind of things do not bring you energy? You might start to notice patterns in the things that you are listing now. So my core values involves personal growth, knowledge, traveling, freedom, also having a good community around me. So I can see when I look at where I spend my time, money and energy, that those things are the common patterns in my list of the things that I already do in my life. So I spend a lot of time and money on education for my personal growth and to develop and to get new knowledge. I also spend a lot of time and money and energy into traveling and exploring the world. Have my community to spend time with friends and to go out and do things and to explore things with other people, so I feel that sense of community around me. So step number 3 is to write everything down in a long list and start to see if you can recognize any patterns. What are your core values? What do you like to spend your time, money and energy on? Can you see some patterns? Maybe that's also personal development or personal growth, or maybe it's traveling, or maybe it is staying home with your family, or maybe it is to do something else. Maybe you have another hobby or something else that you like to spend your time, money and energy on. and that can then be one of your core values. So these are the things that you want in the future to start to focus even more on, because they are adding to your cup of energy, they are adding to your spirit, they are adding to your energy and to your life, and bringing out the inner like fire within you. So you want to spend more time and focus more energy onto that, so you can align your life even more towards your core values, so you can feel more inspired, more passionate, you can have more clarity in your life, and you can feel full from within. Step number 4 is actually to go back and look over your list and look over the patterns that you've seen, and ask yourself, is this really your core values, or is this someone else's core values? And what I mean by that is that we are easily influenced by society, by our parents, by our friends, by the norm. So sometimes we have created core values, or what we think are core values, that isn't actually aligned with our authentic self. It's actually aligned with what everyone else around you is thinking. So what I want you to do now is to go back to your list and ask yourself, is this something that really sits well within me? Or is this something that I've written down because I know my parents or my friends or the society or the norm is telling me that this is what I should be focusing on? There's no right or wrong with your core values. It's whatever you feel like has the most value for you. So that is why we want to take a step back and make sure that it's actually your core values and not anyone else. Because if you're aligning your life towards core values that isn't yours, you're never going to be satisfied with your life that you are creating. You're always going to feel like something isn't really right, that you are in the wrong place, you're doing the wrong thing. It's not going to sit well with you. So what you want to do is just be honest with yourself, rethink the list, and think to yourself, is this really my core values, or is this affected by someone else, or is it affected by the society or the norm? And then rewrite that list until you feel like it's really sitting well within you as well. Step number 5 is that I sit down and I visualize myself and my life 5 years ahead. So what I want to do here is that I want to be as clear and specific as possible with all the details of how my life is going to look like, or how I want my life to look like in 5 years. Where am I at? What am I working with? Who am I with? What am I doing? Where am I spending my time? Where am I spending my money? Where am I spending my energy? What am I doing, like in a sense of who am I? What do I want to do? What do I want to bring to this world? And the more detailed I can become, and the more I can feel like it's aligning within me as well. So it's not just a fantasy, it's actually something that I truly want, the better, because then you will have a clear roadmap of where you are heading, and you can start there and you can work your way back of what you would need to do in order to create that kind of lifestyle. Step number 6 is to fill up your cups. What I mean by filling up your cups is that your core values, you can see them or imagine them becoming cups where you want to pour into the cups. So you fill them up. You fill them up with energy. You fill them up with inspiration and passion, and you pour into those cups. The more you pour into those cups, the more you're going to align your life with what your core values are. So you're going to create the life of your dreams. So for example, for me, it's being personal growth, knowledge, traveling, having freedom. So what I do is that I look and I think to myself, what do I have to do to fill up these cups? So personal growth, that is taking time to getting to know myself from within, to really like get quiet and to figure out my thoughts, where I want to go, getting more clarity. When it comes to knowledge, I'm taking courses, I'm watching YouTube videos to learn about different topics, I'm reading books. When it comes to traveling, I've chosen a job right now where I can travel the world while getting paid and working as a fitness instructor in a hotel. And on my free time when I'm off or on vacation, I make sure that I go traveling so I can keep exploring the world and doing things that is filling up my cups. When it comes to the freedom part, I make sure that I do things spontaneously, that I feel the freedom that I have, that I'm having gratitude to the life that I'm actually living, that I pick jobs and do things that allow me to feel this freedom as well. So when you know your core values, you also know your buckets, and then you can get clear on what actions or what tasks or what things you need to do in order to fill those cups up. Step number 7 is to allow yourself to be open for change. As you develop as a person, your core values and maybe your goals or maybe your visions is gonna change, and that is completely fine. So if you feel like something isn't really sitting well with you anymore, one of the core values is not really as important to you anymore, go back and do this exercise again and see, okay, right now in this season of my life or this time period or just this situation, these are my core values right now. This is where I'm wanting my lifestyle or my life to head, and what kind of vision you have for yourself for the next 5 years, and then reassess and then see what are my cups right now and what do I need to change in order to fill these cups up. Life is a journey and there's no real end destination, so we have to make pivots from here to there and develop our life and our goals and our visions in accordance to how we are developing as people. No one has it all figured out. That is completely bullshit in my opinion if someone is telling you they have it all figured out. So don't stress yourself. This is a journey. We want to be on the journey. We want to be open for change, and we want to be open for what we cannot expect to unfold. Things might unfold that you didn't even expect or that you couldn't even imagine before. So be open for change as well, and just go with the flow rather than to force a specific outcome. If you want to have a step-by-step guide and a little bit more structure to this system, you can download my Notion template before, where it will walk you through step by step how you can go through the system instead of just watching this video. So you have it down below if you want to download that. If you feel like you would like to find some more clarity in your life, I really recommend you to watch this video here. Otherwise, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one.